thinking of you, thinking of you.
In August of 2019, my brother and I hiked 222 miles on the Muir Trail. One question I was wondering before setting off was, what do you bring when you're hiking 222 miles for several nights in a row? Today I'm going to be sharing all the gear and everything I brought with me while I was hiking the JMT. Backpacking gear can get pretty expensive, and when you're trying to go as light as possible or close to ultralight if you can, then the gear is usually on the pricier side. And I didn't want to invest too much money into my gear, so I tried to look for everything secondhand. I didn't mind that it was last season or seasons ago. Some people try to get the best and the new equipment, but I much prefer getting something that is secondhand and still has a lot of life left in it. The first piece of gear that I bought was my backpack, which is this ULA Circuit backpack. I got it secondhand for about $65 and I loved it so much. I got medium straps and medium hip belt, and I have no complaints. It didn't cause me any pain while I was hiking, and it was perfect. It had these big pockets on the side that I would hold my water bottle in. Over here I kept my water bottle, which I just used a smart water bottle because it's like not even an ounce. And on the top I had this Sawyer mini water filter, so I would fill up the water from the water source, filter it through here. I also had a squeeze bag if I wanted to transfer it somewhere else or store extra water, and that's how I drank along the trail. When you're hiking in the Sierras, you are required to carry a bear box, so I had mine situated up here on top of my pack. It has a strap that I was able to clip it on, and I carried everything up on the top. It worked for me. Some people like to carry it in their bag, but the bear box that I used is the Bear Vault 500. I covered it in some stickers that I collected along the way. I loved that this bag had this roll top, so I could stuff extra stuff in there if I needed to. Like when I got hot and took this sweater off, I would just shove it in the top, roll it back down. I had a bag of clothes clothes and electronics that I would keep in this dry stuff sack. I got a couple of these from Amazon. It is the One Tigris waterproof dry bag. They are waterproof, which was great, and kept everything dry. Although we didn't have any rain, so that didn't really matter. Next, I have my tent, which is the North Face Stormbreak 1. I scrunched everything in here, kept it in the bottom of my pack, and put the poles up along the side where the frame of the backpack is. This was the only thing that I bought brand new, so I bought this straight from their website, and it sleeps one person. It was perfect for me, and I really liked it. It was a good purchase, and I think it'll last me a long time. The only thing I did switch out from this tent was the tent stakes. I switched them out for the mini groundhogs, which was a much lighter weight, so it saved me some ounces. Next, I have my sleeping bag, which I got at the garage sale at REI, so everything was used, which is a great deal. If you are a member, an REI member, they have these garage sales every once in a while, and they have some really great deals on used gear. And that's where I got this sleeping bag. I got the Kelty Cosmic Down 20 sleeping bag. It, compacts really well in the bottom of my bag, which was nice and kept me warm the whole time. I have no complaints. So this was great. And then to keep me up off the ground and give me a little cushion and insulate me, I used this Static V Klymint sleeping pad that you blow up and you put underneath you when you sleep. For a pillow when I would sleep at night, I would use this, I would use my clothes bag or just the waterproof dry bag that I have, and I would fill it up with a little bit of air and kind of use it as a pillow when I would sleep, and that worked perfect for me. Makeshift pillow. Now, what's in my clothing bag? So there were a couple things I wore every day, which were my Altra Lone Peak 4 trail shoes. I had them in a blue color before, and I bought them again in this black color because I love them so much. I carried 3 pairs of socks with me. I had my Injinji toe socks, which I used either while I was sleeping or sometimes on trail. I also had these Smartwool socks, which kept my feet nice and warm at night. While I was hiking, I also wore these Bombas socks. I didn't get any blisters. I think my shoes are to thank for that. So these socks worked perfectly fine. I would always have an extra pair of socks to switch out in case one got wet. Then on my body, I wore these Outdoor Voices biker shorts or these Lululemon biker shorts. I don't remember the specific name of them, but I got them both on Poshmark secondhand. I wore this JoyLab sports bra crop top almost every day that I got from Target, and this Outdoor Voices sports bra top that I got from their website. So I pretty much alternated those every day, and I would rinse them off at the end of every day and wear whatever was dry the next day. I would often wear this hat so it would keep my ears warm on the cold nights and while it was chilly and we were hiking. While I was sleeping, I would wear this just thermal long sleeve shirt, kind of like long underwear type, you know, thermal shirt with these Patagonia long underwear. And if I was hanging out around the campsite, I would also put on my rain pants. I didn't end up needing them for the rain, but I found they were really good at keeping me warm when I was outside of my tent and in my long underwear, and they're really good at blocking the wind and keeping me a little extra warm. I also carried 2 bandanas. I would tie it around my neck or tie it around my head. I used it for multiple purposes. I would use it to wipe sweat off my face while I was hiking, or to keep my hair out of my face, or I would use it to clean my pots after cooking, or soak up the water off my tent if I needed. It was really multi-purpose, and I'm glad I brought the bandanas with me. I wasn't sure that I really was going to need them as much as I did, and I think they were a good choice. I also brought a pair of camp shoes. Which I also used when there were some water crossings, just so that I didn't have to get my feet soaked. I would slip into these Tevas, and they're very lightweight. I just strapped them to the outside of my pack so they were easily accessible while hiking if I needed to, you know, cross any water. I also used the Black Diamond Cosmo headlamp, and that was super useful at night. I loved it. For hiking poles, we just used Trail Buddy hiking poles my mom bought us for Christmas. Nothing special, but they did the trick. I also carried a little first aid and toiletry kit, and in this kit I carried some sunscreen because we were out and exposed to the sun, so we needed some protection. I carried things like toilet paper, Advil, which I sent to myself in resupply boxes, Neosporin, Band-Aids, menstrual cup, Sea to Summit Wilderness wipes, which I use to kind of give myself a little shower at the end of the day before getting into my sleeping clothes. Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. I would only use this if you are by a sink or an area where you can dispose of your dirty water properly without leaving an environmental impact. I also carried this Ben's 100 DEET. The mosquitoes were insane, and this kind of helped protect me, but I felt like I could not stop reapplying it. It wasn't as effective as it needed to be. I had a bamboo toothbrush, which I don't have here, but along with it I would use either regular like travel size toothpaste, or these toothy tabs are really great. They're a little bit more environmentally friendly and more lightweight. They just kind of dissolve in your mouth and you brush with those. The electronics that I brought was just my iPhone 7, which I'm using to film this video, and I also brought the Anker Power Core 2000 portable charger. It's pretty heavy at 13 ounces, but it has like 7 phone charges in here, and it lasted me the entire 14 days, and I never had a dead phone battery. The only thing I recommend is sleeping with this and your phone in your sleeping bag to keep them warm so that they don't lose battery from the cold at night. I used these maps to guide us along the trail. These are the suggested John Muir Trail maps, the Tom Harrison maps. They were super useful and very accurate. They were a great guide. I highly recommend these maps. For my kitchen setup, I have this little pocket stove or camp stove that comes in this little case. It is the E-Tech City ultralight portable camp stove. I got it on Amazon. It's pretty small and it has its own ignite. And you just screw it on the top of your fuel canister. I didn't bring any fuel canisters because I couldn't bring any on the plane, so I just bought them at the camp stores at the trailheads when it was available. So this was my camp stove. And then to cook my food, I brought a titanium pot. I got a 750 milliliter, similar to this one. This is the Toaks 550 milliliter titanium pot. Mine was a little taller, and I burnt something in there early on the trip, and after that I couldn't get the burnt off the bottom, and everything I cooked afterwards kind of just tasted burnt. So that was user error, and I should have been a little bit more careful and, you know, tested it out more before going out and using it. Hopefully next time I learn my lesson. Then to eat my food, I brought this wooden Patagonia spoon. It's very lightweight. I could have cut the handle off, I guess, if I wanted to be a little more picky about saving weight, but I just brought this whole spoon. It's light enough anyway, and did the trick. So that's all the gear that I brought with me hiking on the John Muir Trail. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. I will list the things down below that were mentioned in this video, and let me know if you have any questions. That is all. Thanks for watching.